Am I coming through loud and clear so everybody can hear me? Great, great, great. All right, so beautiful. Today we're going to talk about mastering the art of the three-way call. Mastering the art of the three-way call. Yeah, we're going to be mastering the art of the three-way call. And what is also important to talk about is how many exposure does it really take for somebody to get started in your business? That is very, very important that we know how many exposure does it take for someone to get started in business with you. You see, because so many times people end up losing their prospects that could have become some really awesome distributors with your team. You end up losing and missing out on them because we give up too early, too easily. We give up too early, too easily. So we're going to talk about one, how many exposure does it take for you for someone to get in order to become a part of your business? And also mastering the art of the three-way call. Because some of these things people really don't know. And the funny thing, I didn't even know about this before a few months ago. Like probably about the last 18 months or so. Roughly about that time, yeah. So mastering the art of the three-way call. Ladies and gentlemen, let me welcome all the people who just joined us. I see Tamika and Samantha probably not hearing me right now because their lines are muted. All right, guys, you need to reach out to Kamika and Samantha and ask them to quickly unmute their lines so that they can hear what we're talking about. So, two things. We're going to be mastering the art of the three-way call. And we'll also be talking about how many exposure does it take for someone to get started. Now listen to this, folks. You see, when you become a part of this network marketing industry, if you really don't understand what it really takes, if you don't understand the skill set that you need to have, and not only have, but you need to own the skill sets that you need to own in order to truly make success in this network marketing industry. Believe me, when you own the skill set and you're practicing it on a day-to-day basis, or you have the mindset to practice it every day, then automatically you'll be a success. You see, because the skill set is one. The skill set, that's one. And we know the skill set is like a car. Skill sets like a car. And you name a dream car. My dream car is the Mercedes Benz. So I'm gonna say the skill sets that you need to have is like the Mercedes Benz. Now, when you have these skill sets, it's like you have this beautiful engine. You have some awesome wheels. The interior is excellent. All right, the paint job is well done. And it's fueled up with a whole lot of gas. So you have the car right there, and it's looking awesome and it's looking amazing. That's the skill set. Now, the mindset that you need to have, that's you jumping into that car, starting it and moving it. Because if you don't go into that car, it cannot be moved. If you do not hop in that car, start up that engine, put your foot on the gas, it will not be moved. So the mindset is you. you can know everything about this industry in the world. Everything. You can know the book from corner to corner. Right? And two pretty interesting books to read, or one book on an audio series to read and listen to on this is Eric Worre GoPro, 7 Steps to Becoming a Network Marketing Professional. That's one book that I'd recommend. And Holt and Bug's Cash Cow. Right? These two books, or you can get them in audio series, is a needed. It's a needed to have when you're building a network marketing business. Right? Eric Worre's GoPro, 7 Steps to Becoming a Network Marketing Professional, and Holt and Bug's Cash Cow. Now, listen to this, folks. You see, when you have that vehicle, that beautiful, awesome, shiny, and amazing vehicle, and you want to move from point A to point B, if you do not know how to drive that vehicle, and you do not have a driver's license, you can't drive the vehicle. The vehicle will just be there. Right? And that's what is causing the disconnect between a lot of people who comes to the industry and they're there sitting down day by day, night by night, and not getting success because they really don't have their driver's license to drive the vehicle. They did not go through what was needed to learn. They did not sit down day by day, night by night, and read the books, come out on a day-to-day basis and practice in the field to drive this vehicle. So if you're not able to drive the vehicle, there's going to be a disconnect. So you'll have that beautiful vehicle for those who like Porsche, those who like the Rolls Royce, right? You'll have this beautiful vehicle there, and this vehicle will just be there right in your yard. You come out every day, you go about your business, and you come in every day, right? And you probably have to hire a taxi driver to carry you to work or to carry you wherever you want to go because you do not know how to drive the vehicle. Now, the thing about it is that when you hire that driver to carry where you want to go, you're in his vehicle. And when you're in his vehicle, you do not have control. He has control over the steering. And that's your boss, ladies and gentlemen. Because a lot of people think their boss paid them, but that's not how it goes. You work to pay your boss. Your boss is actually leveraging from you because the work that you do on a day-to-day basis is what pays your boss, right? If you're working as a lawyer, and someone employs you to do a lawsuit for them or they employ you to whatever it is, when that person wins the case and they get the lump sum of money, they give you a small percentage. If you're working as a security guard and you're out there working, when you go on that location, your boss is paid for the work that you do, and then they give you a percentage because you are using their vehicle in order to reach where you want to go. But guess what? You do not have control. And if you do not have control over that vehicle, if you do not have control over the vehicle, then these guys can carry you and turn you and twist you however they want to because you do not have control. You want to get from point A to point B. Now, here's the thing. When you actually go out and learn how to drive your vehicle, you'll now be able to jump in behind the wheels of a powerful machine, well fueled, well oiled, and it was ready to go all along. It was there ready to go. All it needed was you to drive it. That's all it needed. So now when you come into that vehicle and you open the gates, and there's a significance in that. Because in order to move the vehicle, you have to open the gates. You have to ensure that absolutely nothing is in the way. And that includes you, because a lot of times we stand in our own way. We stand in our own way, so we're not able to move the vehicle. Or I have to work from 9 to 5. and I don't have much time when I come home. I don't have this and I don't have that. You're standing in your own way because your reason why you're doing the business should be because you're working a 9 to 5 and you want to get out of it. Right? Oh, I have 7 children to take care of and I really don't have the time. Okay. You're standing in your own way because your reason for wanting to drive your own vehicle is because you have 7 children and you want to see the best for them. Think about it. If it's so hard now, what will it be now in these corona times when a lot of people will be losing their jobs? Folks, I'm telling you, this thing hasn't been around now. It hasn't been around now for 6 months. And we have 500,000 millionaires in the US alone that are not millionaires anymore. The longer this thing stay around, I'm telling you, a lot of people will be losing wealth. A whole lot of people. And you want to stand in your own way and you have a vehicle that can be driven even in these times. You have a vehicle that you can hop in anytime you want and drive right through because the internet is there. Vida Divina is that vehicle. Ladies and gentlemen, it can be a Porsche. It can be a Maserati. It can be a Mercedes. It's my Mercedes. Right? We have to be ready to drive. Now, in driving this vehicle, we talk about opening the gates. The next thing that we need to do is now employ our skills because we're now gonna have to hit the reverse button to slowly back out of the parking. All right. So when you're backing out of the parking, hitting the reverse button, that's you now taking your time to make baby steps, to move step by step, day by day, talking to people, going around exposing people to the business opportunity. We're reversing out. Right? Because you have to go backwards first in order to go forward. That's important to know. In order to go forward, you have to first go backwards. Right? And let me explain that to you. You see, when I left my 9 to 5 job and I started this business full time, there are so many things that started happening. Why? Because I stepped out in an act of faith, knowing fully well that what I'm doing, I'm going to have to be the master of my own destiny. Right? I'm going to have to be the master of my own destiny. So when I started, I didn't know exactly what to do and how to do it. I just started. So when you start something that you're totally new to, you're going to have to take some time to learn. You're going to have to take some time to invest some money. So I was investing some money. It was an investment. But guess what? That investment was pulling me back to putting me forward. It was pulling me back to put me forward because there were times that I couldn't eat. Because of that investment, there were times when I couldn't pay my bills. Because of that investment, there were times when I could not afford to even give my daughter $1 because of that investment. So you find out that some things in my life was going in the reverse, whilst other things were going forward because I was building up a momentum going forward. So we have to understand that we have to go back to move forward. Some things have to reverse in order for you to move forward. And then when you move forward, you can put everything in high speed. Now you back up and you come out of the driveway. You're in your vehicle now. And you line your vehicle up with the road and you're ready to go forward. Now, in going forward, what you realize that the road is not always straight. In order to get from point A to point B, you're driving and you may be on a straight road and you hit speed and you pick up some momentum and you're going very fast, super fast. And then boom, you hit up on a curb, you have to slow right down. Sometimes in your business, ladies and gentlemen, you're going to have that curve that came out of nowhere that you're going to have to hit the brake, slow the vehicle right down in order to make the curve. So sometimes when everything is going all good and fine, that's awesome. But there are going to be times when everything is not going all good and fine. Just like when this COVID-19 hit, that's a curve. Nobody was looking for it. and it just came out of nowhere. Boom, surprise. But guess what? When we slow down, and then we know, boom, come around to the curb, and we're able to now look around and see that the way is clear, we can now hit the gas again. And that's what has been happening. We're now on the internet building and growing our business. Now, as we meet the people on a day-to-day basis, let's talk about exposure, because we established that we have the vehicle that we're supposed to be driving. We have established that the disconnect is us not having the proper skills to drive this vehicle. We have also established that once we decide to start drive the vehicle, we're going to have to open the gates. We're going to have to open the gates, take the gates out of the vehicle's way, which is sometimes us have to come out our own way in order to move forward with this thing. But we also established that in order to go forward, we have to go back first, right? No, we're out there, we're driving our vehicle, talking to our peoples, meeting people on a day-to-day basis, whether it be online or offline. We have to understand that sometimes a person, the average person, statistics has shown, needs anywhere from 7 to 9 exposure before they actually make a purchase. Anywhere from 7 to 9 exposure. So listen to this now. If the average person needs anywhere from 7 to 9 exposure.
I don't know if you tell her from man.
Hi, Daniel. Okay, I guess maybe having some problems muting our mic. But yeah. So I'm saying that the average person, statistics has shown, need anywhere from 7 to 9 exposure. Now, listen to this, folks. If the average person needs anywhere from 7 to 9 exposures, do not expect someone to make a purchase or to sign up in your business after 1 exposure. Do not expect someone to make a purchase, a decision, or to sign up in your business after 1 exposure or after 2 exposure. No, whenever we expose somebody to our business, the reason for that should be for that exposure. We talked about yesterday, not making sale on the go, not trying to make the sale on the go. When you're trying to get somebody in your business, for every time you expose that person, just like how you're gonna sell a person the thing and you attach them to every platform that you have so that they can see what you're doing, it's the same thing. Whenever you're exposing somebody to your business, always keep the exposure alive. Now, the reason for you inviting someone to a meeting, every time you invite somebody to a Zoom call or to a live meeting or to a mixer, a tea party, whatever it is that you use to expose them or you share the videos with them, the reason that you're doing that is to book another meeting. We call it BAM FAM. Book a meeting from a meeting, BAM FAM. Whenever you invite somebody to come to a meeting, the reason for you to have them at that meeting is for them to be exposed there so you can book another meeting. We're taking them through the exposure phase, right? Now, in order to expose people from one meeting to the next or to carry them through the exposure chain, we have to understand the kind of questions that we ask. It is very important. The kind of question that we ask, it is very, very important. You do not want to ask questions like, so let's write down the do's and don'ts. Let's write down the do's and don'ts of what to say and what not to say after you expose somebody to a meeting. Right? First thing, do not ever, ever, ever ask them, so what do you think? Ever. Because when you ask somebody what do they think about what they saw, they can become analytical and say, this was a really awesome opportunity. It was really great. I mean, the thing is it's this pie in the sky thing, and I think it can work. It's beautiful. And you're like, okay, great, awesome. So when do you want to sign up? And the person said, let me think about it some more. And you'll be like, all right, great. Go and think about it and we'll talk. Guess what? If that person don't decide after the next 2 days or the next 48 hours to become a part of your business, then I'm telling you, you'll be losing that person. And then you're going to have to be chasing them down. You're going to have to be running them down. And in chasing them down, it will start becoming a bother. Because when you start calling the person and you say, you say you're going to think about it, and the person say, yeah, still thinking about it. You call them tomorrow until eventually when you call them, you're not getting their phones anymore. Let me ask, who in this chat right now have ever experienced anything like that? If you're in the chat right now, you have ever experienced anything like that? Like what I just described? Just let me see you raise your hands. You ask somebody what they think after a business opportunity overview, and then after they give you their answer, and it seems favorable, afterwards, they never end up joining your business. All right? Yeah, these things will happen. No, here's the thing. Here's the thing. Don't ever ask them, what do you think? Now, here's what you ask them. We're going to go right into the exposure, and we'll talk about how many times you want to expose your people to the business. So the minimum, I'm not saying maximum, minimum 7 to 9 times before they join. If they join before that, awesome. Because you'll have some people that come to the opportunity and decide that I'm in right away. Those things happen. That's not the rule. That's the exception. That's the exception. If you have 5 people that you invite to a meeting and the 5 people get started at once, even though it's 100% turnover rate, that's not the rule. That's the exception. So we have to understand this, right? The rule is minimum 7 to 9 exposures. Now, this is how we're going to set up the exposures. After you ask the person, after the person have seen the opportunity overview, the next question that you'll ask them immediately after they finish is, so what do you like best about what you saw? What do you like best about what you saw? Because you see that question, what that question is doing now, it is setting you up for the next exposure. Right? That's what it's doing. Setting you up for the next exposure. Because this is it. When you ask them what do they like best, the person may say, okay, I like the products, especially that tea that helped you to lose 5 to 7 pounds off the tummy, or especially that Mars. I see that Mars, man, and boy, I've been having some problems in that department, and my wife has been complaining. Or the ladies may say, I love the makeup that is organic. I mean, I use makeup all the time, and you guys have some organic makeup. I'd like to try that. I'd like to try the liquid gold, or whatever it is. Right? Your response will be great. That's what I like too. Whatever these people like, that's the same thing you like. I like the products. Awesome. I like that too. That's what got me started. I like the compensation plan. Awesome. That's what I like too. That's how I got started. Because the truth is, you got started with the whole package. You were exposed to the whole package and you got started in the business. Right? So that's not a lie. That's what you did like. You did like the products. That's why you got started. You did like the compensation plan. That's why you got started. So whatever the person said they like, you like it too. Awesome. I like it too. Now, the thing is, this is the next exposure. You're going to say the products. Person said they like the products. You say, okay, I know somebody who used these products and lost 5 pounds in a week, 10 pounds in a week, 100 pounds in a week. What's your weight loss goal? Because obviously, if the person like the product, they would want to use the product to achieve a particular objective. So if it's the tea, you ask them what's their weight loss goal. They tell you the weight loss goal. I want to lose 5 pounds. Okay, awesome. I know somebody who lost 5 pounds, and this is where you set up the 3-way call. You know, what time would be good for you? Because I can have you talk to this person, and this person can tell you exactly how they did it, so that you can also achieve your goal. You're setting up the next meeting. So the person will give you the time that's good for them. Now, it is important to know that your 3-way calls must not always be with your upline. Your 3-way calls must not always be with your upline, because maybe the prospect that you have could have a disconnect with your upline. Because the objective of the prospect, your upline may not be able to relate to it. Like, for example, some time ago, we did a mastermind session, and Aisha did the session instead of me. Now, this awesome testimony came out of the mastermind session where this lady, she had PCOS, and she was talking about her PCOS and how she overcame or what have you. And Aisha, having the same issue, could relate. Now, I couldn't relate to that because I don't even know what PCOS is, apart from that it means polycystic ovarian syndrome. That's all. I could not connect to that. So always try to connect. When you're doing a 3-way call, connect your prospect with someone who can relate to whatever they're going through. And there are so many testimonies across the board, right? So a 3-way call does not mean, okay, let me call my upline to talk to you. Your 3-way call can come from someone in your downline. Your 3-way call can come from a customer who tried the products and got some excellent results and is not necessarily a part of the business. Your 3-way call, I mean, I've done a lot of those, doing 3-way calls with my customers, right? Your 3-way call can come from someone across the board from you. So your 3-way call is not always going to be with your upline. You have to understand that, right? Now you got the person on the 3-way call. You get some questions answered because they're now talking to someone who can relate. And we know the truth is that stories sell. Facts tells, but stories sell. And when someone who has experienced these products firsthand, telling someone who wants to know, experience the same thing, their story, there's no greater deal than that. There's absolutely no greater deal than that, right? So that's the first exposure. The first exposure, you got them on the meeting. Second exposure, you're in a 3-way call with the person. Now, if the person still hasn't signed after that 3-way call, if the person still hasn't signed after that 3-way call, don't worry, because guess what? At the end of that 3-way call, you will be setting up another exposure. You see, when you set up the exposure with the prospect, ladies and gentlemen, one thing to understand is that both of you guys are in dialogue and you're getting the prospect to agree to a time because they're agreeing to the time, right? And when they agree to the time, you won't be bothering them when you're following up with them on something that they agreed to. But when you're calling somebody and they did not agree for you to call them at this particular time, and you're just calling them out of the blue because you brought them to a meeting, they went home from the meeting, you didn't set up any schedule call or any other exposure or what have you, you're just calling them down the 2 weeks down the line, 3 weeks down the line, a month down the line, probably a couple of days down the line, and it starts becoming a bother. Especially if you and that person is not close, right? And this is how people lose friends in network marketing. Yeah, this is the industry where people lose friends. They talk about it, friends trying to avoid you. When they see you, you call a ID, identify your number, calling them, they run away from the phone, right? And you'll hear the horror stories. When you do not set up exposures with people, you start bothering them after a time. And you don't want to become a bother, right? Now, hear the deal. You've gone through the 3-way call, and the person now heard from someone who has gotten the experience of these products. That's if the person wants the products. right? Now, for somebody who says the compensation plan is what I like. You ask them what they like best, they say, I see that compensation plan, I love it. I love the 12 ways how they get paid. I want that Mercedes bonus. I want that mortgage bonus. I like the matching bonus. I want it. So, you know, automatically, you like it too, right? The next thing, let me get you on the line with someone who has been making a whole lot of money. But before I do that, let me know, what's your income goals? How much money would you like to make for this thing to make sense to you? The person say, well, I'd like to make an extra $1,000. You know, that would be my end goal. If I could make an extra $1,000 per month from this thing would be worth my while. I could see myself doing this if I can make an extra $1,000. Say, okay, great. I know someone who's making an extra $1,000 a month. And you reach out to someone who can relate. Now, if somebody wants to make an extra $1,000 a month from this business opportunity, do not connect them with someone who's making $50,000 a month. Don't connect them with someone who's making $100,000 a month. Because the moment you do that, that person who's making $50,000 or $100,000 a month is going to give that enthusiasm and that kind of vibe to the person who only wants to make $1,000 a month. And then when the person who only wants to make $1,000 a month, probably that person wants to make $1,000 a month because they have never made that kind of money before, and that for them is the big deal. And then you put them on the phone with someone who's making $50,000 a month, and they're thinking, oh, this is way too big, too much of a pie in the sky, right? Or it could be that they have been making $1,000 a month and they can relate to $1,000 a month. That may be where their mindset is at the moment, right? Because let me tell you, if someone start this business to make $1,000 a month, as soon as they get to $1,000, they're gonna want to make $1,500. As soon as they get to $1,500, they're gonna want to make $2,000. And as soon as they get to 2,000, they're going to want to make 3,000 and more. Because success is a progressive realization of a worthy ideal. The moment you hit your mark, you're going to want to make more. You're going to want to move up. So if someone wants to make $1,000 a month, don't tell them, no, your dream is too small. You should want to make $50,000 a month. If they want to make $1,000 a month, connect them to somebody who's making $1,000 a month. If the person say $500 a month would be awesome for me, connect them with someone who's making $500 a month. And it is easy to do because we're in a group. All you have to do is send a message. Who in this group is making an extra $500 a month? That's it. And you set up the three-way call. Now, when you set up that three-way call and you're on the call with the person who is making what the person wants to make, that there's going to be chemistry there. Automatically, they're going to connect. Because you attach someone who is there to someone who wants to be there. And that gives you a higher chance of converting that person to a distributor than you connecting them with someone who is making some pie in the sky income. Right? Now the question, what did you like best? It helps you to expose the person to the next exposure properly. Now, let's talk about getting over the three-way call to the next exposure. At the end of the three-way call, the person who is doing the three-way call, if it's a customer, then automatically you'll take back the call to set up the next exposure, right? Because you'll be there listening to the conversation that is happening. And from the conversation, that is how you'll know what kind of exposure you'll set up next. All right? Now, the next exposure that you could set up in the case of a product, it could be you selling the person a product. That could be the next exposure. Because believe me, the products are also a presentation tool. The products, when someone uses the products and get the results that they require, nothing beats that. That builds belief immediately. Immediately. So that can be a third exposure. It could be a sale. So you sell the person the product, they go home and they try the product, and boom, they may just sign up after that, right? So there you go, you have your third exposure, a product sale. or it could be a product sampling if it's at a live meeting, or if it's a home party or a mixer, it could be a product sampling for persons who like the products. Now, for persons who like the compensation plan, the next thing that you'd want to do, the next exposure, you'd want to get them on a training call. Get them on a training call so they can know what is happening, right? Right? So when you get them on the training call, now what will be happening is that these people will now see that this thing is practical, that it is real. When your presenter is there presenting how to do this thing step by step. So you know what that does? For the person who wants to make the money, that shows them that, listen, you're going to be in business for yourself because you're going to be making the money. However, you are not going to be in business by yourself because there's a team of people here that is ready to train you, mentor you, monitor you, help you to grow. Guys, some of the mistakes that we make is that someone asks us, you talk to the person said they like the products. And you're like, awesome, the products is great, but you know you can make some extra money doing this thing. Come let me show you can make some extra money. And you end up losing that person. Because remember, that wasn't their interest. Right? That wasn't their interest. We have to also understand that not everyone will become distributors. Some people will just be some customers, and that's it. They'll just be your customer, constantly buying from you day in, day out. And you may lose them if you try to get them in the business and keep pushing it in their face. Right? If someone wants to be just a customer, allow the person to be a customer and leave it at that. If someone wants to be a distributor, then fine, you put them in the business and you get them the system immediately to work with. But do not try to get a customer who the person obviously is not expressing interest in becoming a part of the business, but they're interested in buying the products from you. Keep selling them the products. You're winning still. They're still a part of your success. We have to understand that. And that's very, very, very important. Right? Now, we talk about the third exposure. The third exposure. If the person is interested in the business, you get them on a training call. If the person is interested in the products, after the 3-way call, you sell them a product. The fourth exposure. And this is assuming now, ladies and gentlemen, that these people did not get involved after the third exposure. Because I'm telling you, the rule is that it takes 7 to 9 exposures for someone to make a purchase. But let me tell you, if you're doing this thing right, after the 4th exposure, you would have known exactly what this person wants to do. If they want the business, they'll take it. If they want the products, they'll take it. And if they take the products and they don't want the business, believe me, those people, you're going to have to get them to another exposure. But after the 4th exposure, the person who wants the business, they'll take the business. But for the person who wants the products, after the 4th exposure, they may not take the business. However, that person could still be a potential distributor. A person could still be a potential distributor. Right? Now, here's the next thing that you're going to do. For the people who takes the product alone for the 4th exposure, and the product work, they get the obvious results. We talked about this yesterday. Ask them for the referrals. Who else do you know that would want to experience these kind of results that you're getting? And then they'll give you their contacts, they'll give you their network. Because remember, if they didn't express interest in doing the business, then you can go ahead and take their network. But if they're still on the fence, you know, they're like, let me try the product, see it works, and then if the product works, then I'll get in the business. You know, you ask them for the referrals. And when you ask them for the referrals, and you get to their friends, and the friends are ready to make the purchase, then this is what you'll do. You show them the practicality of the business. This is the 5th exposure. You're now exposing them to the income that you're making doing this business.
So they'll now be able to see this thing firsthand being done, right? Because they already expose you to their network. The people in their network is ready to purchase, and you are there ready to sell. But you give them the option. You ask them the question, do you want to make the profit or do you want me to make the profit? And you show them exactly how much you can make if they do this thing and they want to make the profit, right? So the person say, okay, I want to make the profit. Then boom, after the fifth exposure, then that person will now become a part of the business, right? That person will now become a part of the business. Or that person will tell you that, listen, I'm still not interested. You can go ahead and sell my friends. Fine, then you know that that's a customer, you back off. You keep selling them their products and you move through to their friends and you get their friends through the same set of exposures. Now listen to this. For the people who get the fourth exposure who are looking at the business and say these people didn't join. Because remember now, we're looking for people who want to become a distributor and people who also want to become a customer, right? These are the people that we're looking for. So after the fourth exposure, somebody who was looking at the business joined, but another person we have looking at the business as well didn't join. Here's the thing. This is going to be their fifth exposure. You ask them for referrals. Who else do you know that is self-motivated and would do really well with earning some extra money? Would do well with earning that extra financial benefits? And they tell you some people who they know. So you get those people now on the call, starting their first exposure. You have them create a list of at least 100 people. So when they create the list of 100 people, and those people now come, bam, listen to the calls. They got the exposure, right? Remember now, let's call this person John. John just exposed it to his network. John is interested in joining the business, but John hasn't made up his mind as yet. You have brought John through 4 exposures. John still hasn't made up his mind. And you've asked John now to get his group. And John now has his people on the call, and you end up getting, out of the 100 people that John introduced, or let's be realistic, say John introduced 20 people to a Zoom call, and those 20 people came on behalf of John. And out of the 20 people, you find out that two people become the exception. They want to join right away. John hasn't made up his mind up until this point. Now, John have 2 people that wants to join. And the 2 people that John has there wanting to join this business, John already knows about the fast start bonus because John was at the first exposure when he got the full presentation of this thing. Right? He got the full presentation of this vehicle that he can drive his way to financial freedom. So guess what? John is not now going to allow those 2 people to go in without him. So immediately, John would have made up his mind to become a part of the business. So when John has made up his mind now to become a part of the business, you put John in and John has just became binary qualified. Now listen to this. You still have 18 more persons that John invited there who is still undecided. So you're helping John now to go through those 18 people to find out who will become customers, who will become distributors, and who is downright not interested. Right? Because you'll find people who will just not be interested. You have to be realistic. Not everybody will become supportive of what you're doing in terms of being a distributor or being a customer. So you're helping John to go through those 20 people to identify who are the customers, who will also become business partners. And when you help John to take those people through the same stretch of exposure, you know what will happen? Automatically, you'll now have John earning money, and your distributors that you bring on will now become more prosperous and more successful. Doing it that way will help you to grow a bigger and a mega team than if you just sign the person up and you just move to the side to sign up the next person. And then you move to the side to sign up the next person. I mean, you should be signing up as many people as possible. That's the truth. Everybody in this business should be getting in as many people as possible. But you have to also ensure that it's your point of duty to help these people to be successful. Because if you do not help these people to be successful, I'm telling you, you could sign up 1 million people.
Amen.
Will not last long. Yeah, you'll get burnt out.
Amen.
Indeed. Right?
Amen.
So we have to understand this, guys. No, listen to this. Listen to this. When you're taking John's people through the exposures, remember John was undecided up until the point where his people decided to get started. He became decided. He was undecided up until that point. So by you now having John taking his people onto the calls and taking his people through the exposure, you're also helping John to validate his decision of being in this business. That's very important, ladies and gentlemen, that you write that down. When you take your distributors who are already distributors through the process of taking their people through that exposure process, you're validating their decision to do the business. Because a lot of people may have somebody who sign on this month and next month them completely disappear. They became obsolete, right? Because that person did not validate their decision. They were still undecided. Even though they sign up, they were still undecided, right? And what may have happened is that they may have brought the idea to some friends and they may brought the idea to some family members and they say, oh, you know, I did that before and it didn't work and whatever you. And then that person get discouraged and that person is gone. You never see that person make another purchase, right? So it's important that you help the people to validate their decision. And by validating their decision, you take them through the exposure process, or help them to take their team through the exposure process, right? That's how you help your team. That is how you help your team to grow, by helping them take their people through the exposure process. Now, it is also very important, it's very, very important that when you have your people going through this exposure process, it is very, very important that you help them to get some small victories. It is important that you help them to get some small victories. And how are you going to do this? Let me tell you something, ladies and gentlemen. There's a system within the system that helps people to win. A system within the system. And let me explain that. For someone who is interested in the products, taking the products, we add a meal restriction plan to it. So we're ensuring that you have to get the results. Once you stick to the meal restriction plan, that's it. The meal restriction plan is a system within the system that the products have to offer. So for the life and those other capsules, there's a meal plan, approved foods. That's a system within the system. You're taking the life and you're using the approved foods. So that helps people to get some victories, right? So for the people who want the products, they're now getting immediate gratification after using the products, and they're loving the products more. That's a victory for them because they're achieving their goals. For the person who wants the business for the money, you help them to pre-sell all of their products by using what we talked about yesterday. For those who were on the call yesterday, and I'm going to recap that before we end here today. We have a few minutes left. All right? You help them to earn some quick retail sales, and they see they get back the money from what they spend to retail. That's a quick victory. That also helps to validate their decision, right? They sold all the products. But maybe that person who sold all their products really didn't have anybody to expose to the business, because we talk about exposing your friends. Maybe that person didn't have anybody to expose to the business, but you have them sold all of their package, whatever package you're coming at. By them retailing all of those packages, what really just happened is that that person now has a list. Because these people who purchase the products and use the products, they're going to be asking them for the referrals, and they're going to be doing everything that we talked about yesterday. Right? That's why it's important that we're here every single evening, because each session that I'll do, it will be a follow-up of the session from the day before. So we have to ensure that we're here and we're taking notes. I mean, if you truly want to be successful in this business, ladies and gentlemen, believe me, you have to learn the skills and you have to have the mindset. And let me tell you this though. Let me tell you this, I'm going to be real. If you have the right mindset, believe me, the skills doesn't matter. If you have the right mindset, the skills doesn't matter. But if you do not have the right mindset, you could have all the skills in the world and you know it to the T. You know it. It still wouldn't really be of benefits to you. Because as we talk about having the vehicle and the disconnect between you and the vehicle, that's what will really happen, because the mindset is what really connects you to the vehicle. The right mindset, the winning mindset. Right? Because sometimes you'll be out there applying your trade, using the skills, and it seems like they're not working. If you don't have the mindset to keep you going, you'll quit. I'm telling you. So if you have the proper mindset, skills doesn't matter. And let me explain that now. There's a story that was told of this lady. Her son was under a car. For some reason or the next, the vehicle ended up on her son. The wheel ended up on her son. Right? And that woman looking at that child underneath the wheel of the car, grabbed the car and lift it up by herself without no help for her to get her child out under that, from under that car. And she was successful. Right? If you had taken that lady an hour before her son was underneath that car and told her to lift that car up, she'd have told her that you lost your mind. And there's no way she can do it. And that's impossible. And all the excuses in the world. Because she didn't have a why. She didn't have a reason. But now her son is trapped under that car. She has a reason to do it. She has a reason to do it. So she's not now going to try to go to the gym to go and do 100 push-ups, 50 sit-ups, do some bench press and some crunches to try get muscles to come and lift up that car. She's not going to try to improve her skills or improve her muscle. Right? She probably don't even know how to bench press anything. She probably have never been in the gym a day in her life, but she's lifting that car up off her son because her mindset, her why is very important. And you need to write this down. If your why does not make you cry, it's not big enough. If you have, this analogy was given in the book, The Compound Effect. If I have a plank on the ground and I ask you to walk the plank from point A to point B, it would be the easiest thing to walk the plank from point A to point B. And I say I'm going to give you $20 US or $100 US to walk the plank, point A to point B. Right? Now, if I took that same plank and I put that up on between two skyscrapers, and when you come off one skyscraper walking the plank, when you're looking down, all you're seeing is the ground. And I say, walk this plank and I'll give you $100 US. I'm telling you, 90% out of 100 people won't do it. Heck, the entire 100% won't do it unless you're an acrobat. Right? People ask if I'm crazy. However, if I put a plank between two skyscraper buildings, you're on one skyscraper building, and on the next skyscraper building is your child, your mother, your spouse, your father. On that next skyscraper building, and that skyscraper building is the other skyscraper building is on fire, blazing, and you could not come up from the bottom because it's on fire. You'd have burned to death. I die of suffocation trying to climb the steps or trying to use the elevator to get to that person. But here's the plank that can help you to get over there to get that child, to get your mother, to get your father, to get your spouse, and you can now carry them back across the plank to safety. I'm telling you, not even 90, 100% of people would be running across the plank, not even walking, to save their loved one. They'll be running because the why is what makes them cry. The why. If your why doesn't make you cry, then it's not big enough. So you have to understand, why are you doing this business? Why is it that you took your hard-earned money that you work so hard for? You sweat, you cry, you bleed for your money, and you took your hard-earned money and you joined Vida Divina. Why? You need to find the why. Get into that why. Tap into that why. The reason. My why was I wanted my life back. My why was I want my daughter to live with me. I didn't want my child to be growing up without me being in her presence and she being in my presence and being at the mercy of other people who I don't know where she is most of the time. I want to know that whenever I'm eating, my child is eating too. I'm happy when I know that I'm eating and my child is eating. I'm happy when I know that my child is here and healthy. I'm 150% happy. That's my why. When I couldn't see my child around me, right? I worry a lot, a whole lot. Sometimes I even break down. That's my why. My why is that I don't want to see my mother working in her old age. I don't want to see my father working in his old age. What is your why? Tap into that why. Get that why you need to do this thing. Why are you here? Because if you don't get that why, and allow that why to really help you to do everything that we talked about earlier, the mindset, then believe me, all this training would be for naught. Because eventually, when you don't have a strong enough why, you lose the faith. And when you lose the faith, you'll stop working. And when you stop working, you'll quit. I promise you. And you see other people coming and making a lot more money and a greater deal of things than you would have ever gotten. Right? Now my time's up, guys. I'm just gonna run through the system real quick again before we leave here. All right? And we talked about it yesterday. The first thing that you want to do, never try to sell on the go. Never ever try to sell on the go. Right? Your main aim when you're talking to a prospect should always be to get their numbers, not the sale. The ultimate goal is the sale, but you should always try to get their numbers so you can log their numbers. Right? The second thing, always follow up with your prospects. After you've sold them the products, you share the videos, you get their numbers to share the videos, you sold them the products, always follow up with your prospects. Always, to know what is happening with them. All right? It is very important because the fortune, all the top earners will tell you, it's in the follow. Don't ever sell a person a tea. You're selling them the results. So ensure that they're getting the results. All right? The third thing, always ask for the referrals. Ensure that you ask them for the referrals. After you sell them the products, you're getting the results, ask them who else do they know. And then the fourth thing is always give your prospects the opportunity to become a business partner. Always give your prospects the opportunity to become a business partner. All right? I want to thank you guys. I want to thank all 25 of you guys for being here today, listening to my voice. And believe me, tomorrow evening, we'll come back at 8 o'clock. We'll come back at 8 o'clock to do this call all over again, where we'll be discussing a different topic as to how to improve your business and make the best out of this network marketing experience. Thank you very much, guys, and I hope you enjoy the rest of your day.